Hey, what's happening? Welcome back to 100% NUFC. So this is the final review. It finished at St James's Park. Newcastle United 0, Norwich City 0. And from a Newcastle fan's point of view, I have to say that's 2 points dropped, but it's not an unlucky outcome. I feel like Norwich were by far the better side in terms of the opportunities created. They weren't clinical enough in the final third. And if Norwich City were a Man City, a Liverpool, a Chelsea, or anybody within the top 10, for me, we're losing this game. Today. We weren't good enough. We didn't do enough in the game. We were very, very poor, very sloppy. Started both halves very, very slowly. And when you do that and you give the opposition any chance of a good start, then you will be punished. And Pookie, for me, he's had 2 or 3 opportunities for Norwich to go on and give them the 3 points. And I wouldn't have complained, if Norwich City had walked away with 3 points, because there's been far too many games this season where we've been very, very lucky. We got lucky against Everton with a 2-2 draw. We got very lucky with a win against Chelsea with the late header by Isaac Hayden. And today, our luck just wasn't in. And I have to say, we got exactly what we deserved, which was a draw. And we're lucky to even have that, if I'm honest with you. Looking at the whole complexion of the game, I thought Norwich City, bottom of the league going into the match. They had a game plan. Their game plan, of course, was not just to sit back. They knew they were cut adrift. Of those clubs in 17th and 16th, they had to come to St James's Park and get all 3 points. And to know that against Oxford, we weren't fantastic, and we weren't fantastic against Everton. So going into the match, the game plan was to go for it, try and get the first goal. And they had so many opportunities, Norwich, in that first half to go 1-0 up at the break, and they didn't take it. And the reason why we didn't play so well in that first half, not down because we played bad, it was down to the fact that we made a big mistake in this January window, just gone, and we didn't buy a striker. We've got a striker in Joe Linton who, for me, he wasn't the worst player on the pitch today. He was unlucky, in the first half, but we don't have a striker that's going to put the ball in the back of the net, because you've got Dwight Gale, injury prone, gone, out. Mudu, not good enough, out. You've got Andy Carroll, you very rarely see him, not good enough, out. And you've only got Joe Linton, who's only got 1 Premier League goal this season. And what does that tell you? This game was always going to be a struggle. It was never going to be an easy game. Don't get us wrong, I was confident going into it that, we should be looking to get all 3 points against Norwich at St James's Park. And we didn't. We came unstuck. And given what happened at Carrow Road, today's game was revenge, and we didn't look up for it. We really didn't. We looked second best, to every ball. And like I say, if Norwich had walked away with the points, I wouldn't have complained. And that has been Norwich's problem this season, is clinical in finishing their chances when they get them, and they had a few. And Martin Dubravka, he kept us in that game on so many occasions. And Fernandes at one point as well, stopped Timu Pukki. And I'll talk about this, throughout the review. But hopefully this game is a lesson in you've got to not underestimate anybody in the Premier League. Doesn't matter where you are in the league. It just felt as if the players were on holiday today. Like, there was just no going forward. It's been the story of our season. Do you know what I mean? And it's a case of, yes, we have been clinical in games where we've taken the lead and won by the odd goal, for example, Chelsea, but today just didn't give me any indication that we're going to have a good end of the season. Do you know what I mean? In terms of finishing potentially top 10. It just looks as if we're just a bang average mid-table club. And if we keep going on with the way we're going, then who knows, we could start looking down the table rather than up. So, disappointing. Starting 11, as you can see on screen, it wasn't too bad. It was probably what I was expecting. But at the same time, 5 at the back at home against Norwich City. I know we play the wing-back system, but you're playing against a Norwich side who are rock bottom of the Premier League. They're 13 points worse off than ourselves. And you're defending, or you're looking to defend against Norwich at home and not go for it. And that had a huge, impact in the game in terms of the formation. And I know it's been the formation all season, but why can't you just change it up against a club that's rock bottom of the league? And knowing that we need revenge. And knowing if we've got a positive result, we could have been looking at, 8th or 9th in the league. So there we go. And a couple of changes. First of all, we did see Bentaleb make his Premier League debut. He did play against Oxford United last weekend, so he did get his first start. And then, obviously at the back, Fernandes came in. I didn't understand that one personally. Why, start Fernandes when you've got a left back in Danny Rose? He's a natural left back, which we need. You're playing Richie out of position. Why don't you take, Fernandes out of the squad, put Kieran Clark, in the centre of defence, get Richie further up the pitch and put Danny Rose at left back. Now, was it an issue of a case he wasn't fully match fit because he'd only played 13 minutes? Well, that remains to be seen. But for me, you've got to start, Rose. You've only got him till the end of the season, but he's going to add experience, and he did look positive, in the 15 minutes that he got, if you include stoppage time. And he probably did more in that game than what the rest of them have done in, the 77 minutes that they played. So that says a lot about Danny Rose and how much quality he adds to, our side. Now, let's just jump straight into it. First half, I have to say, was dominated by Norwich. They had the better opportunities. We did probably have the clear-cut opportunity with Almiron, but I'll get onto that in a second. So the 5th minute, Sam Byram, he has the best opportunity, when Norwich win a corner. He attacks the ball, and Tim Krul, he tips it over for a corner when he heads it. He gets good power on it, and they're the warning signs for us that Norwich City are in this game. They're not here to sit back. They're here to have a go, and we're lucky there. We'll get away with one. And then 17 minutes, again, we still haven't woken up. Teemu Pukki, he receives the ball just outside the box. He takes in, and it's a good save by Martin Dubravka. He tips it over the crossbar, and we should be defending a lot better than that. Teemu Pukki should not be unmarked, knowing what he did to us back down at Carrow Road when he got that hat-trick. And the signs there that Norwich City, probably should have taken the lead, and there was chances for them. And then our big opportunity came on the 21st minute when Yedlin, he crossed the ball in. Joe Linton got a perfect header onto it, and it was a good save by Tim Krul. He matched it, and he didn't save it clearly with his gloves. It then obviously rebounded or fell kindly to Almiron, do beg your pardon. He then gets a header onto it, and it just goes wide of the right hand post. For me, he's missed an absolute sitter. He's got to put that in the back of the net. It's an open goal. Norwich are all over the place, and he's got his head in his hands. And for me, we should be going 1-0 up, really, and we should be punishing Norwich for their missed opportunities. And then on the 29th minute, Pukki goes clear with the ball, potentially going one-on-one with Martin Dubravka, but just before he fires, Fernandez gets back and clears the danger and stops Pukki in his tracks, and we get away with one. Again, switching off, not knowing where we are with the ball, what we're doing with it, and we are punished, or nearly punished. And when I say punished, yes, we did lose the ball. Pukki potentially could have went one-on-one, and if it wasn't for Fernandez, we're potentially going 1-0 down. Not for the first time in the first half this afternoon. Now, Zinnerman, he had chances for Norwich when he won the ball in plenty of space, and Martin Dubravka, was keeping win the match, tipping it around for a corner. And obviously Tete and Alan St. Maximin did come together in terms of a clash. Alan St. Maximin did go down holding his knee, but he was fine, after going to the sidelines, and thank goodness for that, because going into the match he didn't look fully match fit. I know Steve Bruce has been talking about him, saying that he's not fully match fit, but he needs him, and I was really concerned, but thank goodness for that. He did continue on in the match. But then obviously half-time arrives and it's 0-0, but I have to say we're lucky going into half-time 0-0. I felt Norwich created the better opportunities. The game probably could have finished 2-1, with our chance with Almiron. He should put that in, really, in my opinion. If you see it on Match of the Day or Sky Sports or anything, it's an absolute sitter. And obviously Pukki, he's missed a couple of big opportunities, Sam Byram as well. So Norwich, should count themselves unlucky that they didn't go 1-0 up, at least at half time. We'll jump into the second half, 52nd minute, we receive our first yellow card. Yedlin, he puts in a challenge on Sam Byram, he goes down. Norwich City win a free kick. That then deflects, goes for a corner, and the corner is wasted by Norwich City. And that proved to be Yedlin's last action of the match. And the substitution came. Yedlin's off. Lazaro is on to make his debut after joining from Inter Milan. And then on the 56th minute, Richie wins a free kick after there's a foul. The free kick obviously deflects and it goes wide. Norwich clear it. And then there's a second substitution by Steve Bruce in the 56th minute. Hayden goes off, and Hayden goes off, and Longstaff comes on, do beg your pardon, Sean Longstaff that is. And as he jumps into the match, there was a foul, or there was, say, a penalty decision, which could have went Norwich's way, but was waved away when Todd Cantwell went down in the box. And for me, it didn't look as if it was a bad challenge by Sean Longstaff. And for me, he had to get up, and it got waved away, and he went down like a sack of sponge. I think he went down far too easily, in my opinion. And then we kind of did grow into the game on the other. St. Maximin, he wins the ball on the left-hand side. We're shooting towards the Gallagate. Norwich are shooting towards the Leazers. So he picks up the ball. He has a go, and it's a good, comfortable save by Tim Krul. Again, Norwich City lose the ball on the 61st minute. Alan St-Maximin again wins the ball on the left-hand side. He has a go. It obviously is blocked by ex-Magpie defender Grant Hanley. It then, as it deflects, it goes towards Tim Krul. He manages to have a smart reaction save, and it goes for a corner, and that obviously goes wide. And then, Norwich have their big opportunity when the ball is whipped in. Pukki is unmarked in the box at the Leazers, and for me, he fires wide. He's got to do better. He's, like I say, unmarked. He's got time to probably take a touch and fire in past Dubravka, and we get away with one. Some sloppy defending there, and again, get away with one. And then obviously I've just got my last notes here. Duda plays in Pukki, who has an effort which is saved by Martin Dubravka. Dubravka is quite fortunate as the defenders are there to clear it off the line, and then it rebounds to Duda, who puts it into the side netting. For me, should do better. Norwich should be going ahead. They're having chances, and Pukki is going on one-on-one with Dubravka, and Dubravka seems to be getting the best of two Pukki. So we've obviously learned after the match down at Carrow Road, and Norwich are they're missing so many gilt-edged opportunities. And for me, it's all Norwich City after a bright spell with Alan St-Maximin. And talking of Alan St-Maximin, on the 77th minute, he is taken off, and Danny Rose comes on for his debut, and he plays sort of the last 16-17 minutes if you include stoppage time, and he looked rather bright going forward. St-Maximin, he didn't play too bad in the game. I thought he was probably one of our better players in terms of creativity, but then again, he did pull up obviously in the first half, and it's probably just precaution. Bentaleb, he picked up a yellow card in the 80th minute, a bad challenge on Tete, deserved yellow card in my opinion. And then the game was just shut out, towards a 0-0. Nothing really happened, and the game, yes, did finish 0-0. We did have a corner at the end, but nothing really came of it. And I have to say, all in all, on the whole complexion of the game, I'll take a point. I would much rather 3. I think we've dropped 2 points, but then at the same time, I think we've gained a point because Norwich should have gained all 3. They had by far the best opportunities in the match, and they'll be ruined their missed opportunities. No wonder the bottom of the league, and no wonder that they're looking cut adrift already with results going against them, with the likes of Bournemouth winning, for example. And for us, it's probably what we deserve. We didn't do enough in the game, and that's what happens if you don't create your chances. Looking at the Premier League table, we're currently 10th in the league. That may change if results are to go by over the weekend, but if that doesn't change, then 10th isn't too bad. But then again, we could have been talking 9th or even 8th. So there we go. It is what it is. That is the final result. We've got Oxford on Tuesday night. I'll be back with a match preview on either Sunday or Monday, so stay tuned for that. And yes, thank you so much for watching the match review. Let me know down below in the comments what you thought. Let me know about the starting 11. Did you agree with it? Should Ruz have started from the first minute? Or do you think Steve Bruce was right to start him in the 77th minute? And let us know if you were there. And yes, don't forget to follow me on social media, Twitter and Instagram. All links will be down below in the description. And I'll see you all in the next one. I'll catch you later.